Hi, my name is Tim Sick, and I'm going to be your instructor for Math and Logic this semester. I'm just throwing together this quick video to give you an overview of the course, but you know I'm a real person, that I'm here to help you. So what I'm going to do now is switch over to my iPad here and show you how to get into the course and some of the features and where to find stuff in the course. Okay, so we're going to get into My Labs here, so I can click into that from going to My FETC. Here at the top, since we're talking about going in as a student, I would click on My FETC, where all my student things are, and then I would scroll down and click on this My Labs. That'll bring me to a page where I can log in using my student ID and password. Once you've logged in, you'll land at a page that looks basically like this, although it should probably only have your math courses for the current semester showing. So you probably only have one, maybe two of them. I'm going to click into the internet section here, and that should bring us to the course. What I've done is I tried to make it so that you could get at everything from one place, and I almost did that. You can get at almost everything from this course outline and section, and schedule rather. So what that has here is it's got the weeks in it, and then what you should look at here in the middle, and then what things you need to do on the right hand side. So if you want to look at your syllabus, I posted that here in the first week. You can certainly look at that, read it. You know, it's got all the main stuff it's supposed to have in it. But so then as you're working through your homework, you know, if you want to start looking at this inductive and deductive reasoning, I've got the link to the textbook here. I spent a summer recording videos on all the topics in this course. Let's see if the textbook opens. Apparently not on my iPad. If you're on a computer, it should work. Let's see what this does. Oh, guess I would need to go get the app, but regardless, I also recorded a bunch of videos. You can get to those here. This will just bring up the YouTube channel where I've got all of these things. Here's my email address in case you want to email me anytime about anything for the course. And then before you're able to do anything in this course, you're going to need to enter this access code. Now it's just right here. You can copy it. When you go to click on anything like your homework, it'll ask you for it. It'll prompt you for it. You just click, there's a spot that says access code. There's a way to switch it so that it's a single line that you can just paste and then paste it in there, and it won't ask you for it again. But that's right there in the course too. So what I did was I clicked on the first section's homework. So homework's the first thing we'll talk about here. For assessments, to get to the homework, you can either from that course outline and schedule, again, just click on a homework assignment off on the right. That'll take you to that week's homework, theoretically. It's always exciting doing things live. There it goes. Okay, so here's this week's homework. I'm just going to go in here and show you how this works a little bit. So once you click on an assignment, it'll bring up all the questions, tell you your current score, those kinds of things. So let's look at a question here. Homework in general is worth 25% of your grade, and we just saw one way to get at it was clicking into that from the course list of everything, clicking on the assignment name. Now, once you're in a homework, there'll usually be a question up here, and then it'll ask you for some sort of answer. Let's put something in there. How about that? It's going to tell me that's wrong. It's going to say, hey, here's a hint. If I'm still stuck, like if I thought I knew what I was up to, or I don't know what to do next, up here there's a question help, and the question helps are pretty helpful. Help me solve this. We'll show you, work you through this problem and then give you a new one. View an example will show you a similar problem and how it could be worked through. Textbook will take you to the textbook section for this question. You won't need to use StatCrunch. I should really turn that off so that you don't wander into there. But then Ask My Instructor sends me an email with this question so that if you want to have me answer or talk you through how you would solve it or maybe send you back a video, Ask My Instructor is the thing to click on. Okay, so let's get this wrong a couple more times here. If you get it wrong too many times, eventually it will say you're incorrect, it'll tell you what the correct answer was, and it'll mark this question wrong. So now see it's displaying the right answer here, it was 28. If I hover or click over that, it'll tell me what I put in. And then I want to get credit for this since homework's 25% of my grade. Down here at the bottom, there's a similar question button. If I click on that, this will load up a new version of the question I was just using. Same concepts, different numbers. And if I get this one right, I'll get full credit. Now I have to actually look at what's happening here. It looks like every time we're going down by 8, 55 minus 8 has got to be 47. So I'm going to put 47 in, and now I've got that question right. Okay, you can always get all of your homework up to 100% as long as you've got the time and patience. Okay, so I'm done with this homework assignment. You can either just close it, or up here in the corner there's a save button. I'll click on that. So now I've got it saved up to where I was. The next thing I want to show you is tests. So I'm going to go down here and find our first test. Our first test isn't for a while. It's actually here on Logic, due whenever that was. So I clicked on the test link. That brought me to these two tests for this week. Notice this flag on the test itself. You have to actually try the practice test before you try the test. Okay, you have to do the practice test before you do the test, at least once. You can do the practice test as many times as you want, and it will only keep your best score. So let me get into a test here. So notice help features are gone in the corner here. If I want to navigate, I have to actually click on either the list here or the navigation arrows at the top. Okay, so let's say I'm done with my practice test. I'm going to submit. It's going to say, hey, you didn't answer a bunch of questions. That's fine, I'll submit that. Okay, so now I click on go to results, takes me to my grade book, shows me I got none wrong, or all of them wrong, none right. But that's the basic idea with tests. The other thing about tests is I do have them limited in time. 75 minutes is what I have both the test and the practice test set for. So once you feel comfortable with the practice test, you're able to do it in less than 75 minutes, you're probably ready to do that test. Now, I do want to mention in the online course here, your tests are, don't answer the test this way. Your tests are open resource, so open book, open notes. So if you've got that stuff laid out before you start your test, that would be really helpful, okay, so that you can know everything you need to do. So do the practice test until you feel comfortable with it. Make notes on the ones that are tricky for you. And then I would suggest just, having all that stuff in front of you when you're ready to do your test. All right, so that's tests. There's 4 tests. Together, they're about 28% of your grade, so about 7% each. 7 times 4 is, 28. Great. Next, every other week or so, there are some problem-solving problems. So one of the ways you can get at those is I have them linked here. So here I just clicked on that from the course, or from that big list. Here's the problem. Email address, you just need to put in your name, your section, read this question, put in your answer, tell me what heuristic you used, and then show me your work. At the bottom here is how I'm going to grade that. Is your answer reasonable? Is it within the realm of possible answers, or is it like crazy? As long as it's in the realm of possible answers, you get 3. If it's the actual right answer, you'll get another point. I want you to show me some of your work and reasoning. Like, show me how you got there a little bit. That'll be 3 points as long as you show that to me. Filling in this, what heuristic you use as a point, and then turning it in on time is 2 points. Okay, so each of these problem-solving problems is worth 10 points. I'm just going to check off the things you got right and email you back with those results. Okay, so that's those guys. Oh, let me get back to our course. There's a couple of projects. Those come much later in the course. You'll see here, for example, starting in week 9, I tell you to start looking over the logic project, and then week 10, continue, and then week 11, it's due. So the logic project is just a worksheet that you work through. The other project is also a worksheet that you work through. Those are in there. They're 10% of your grade, and they're just in there because they're a little bit deeper problems than I can do in the homework reasonably. Okay, so 2 projects, 10% each. Finally, there are 5 message boards that I want you to post on. So let's see. So here in week 2, course introduction board is in my to-do or my study. Post on the course introduction board, linked on the menu on the left. So to get to the message boards, you have to have this menu open and then click on message boards. But then here all 5 of them are. So here's course introductions. Here's your first one, the problem solving, or second one, problem solving one. So those are linked to in the main course. That's the thing that I couldn't quite cram into these links here. Okay, the only other thing I want to show you is, so I've got this page with all your links, resources, ways to get at things. You can also get to almost all those things by going to the online assignments. So I touched on online assignments here. So here's my orientation questions, all the homework. Here's a reminder to go do the message board. Here's problem solving run files. So let's open that assignment. This brings me up to a place where I can just get at those assignments. Sometimes when you open this, you have to click on printer friendly because it's weird, but there's that same problem. First problem I got to a different way. So that's another place you can find everything in the course, basically. There too, I've got, like I said, those reminders to go do your message board posts. Okay, that's a real quick overview of how to get at everything in the course. If you have questions for me, please email me. My email is right here in the course, and I look forward to working with you and helping you throughout the semester. Thanks.